Watching Sports Central on CBS 2, sponsored by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
And hello again, everybody. Welcome to Sports Central Saturday. I'm Jim Hill, joined by former USC star running back Stafon Johnson and Lakers radio host Alan Sliwa. You just saw it right here on CBS 2. Georgia taking care of LSU 50-30. And let's talk about this game that we just saw, because this was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we know one team that didn't disappoint us this weekend, and Georgia came in and it meant business. You know, from the top, from the gate, they came out and was firing on all cylinders and really showed LSU why they're the #1 team in the country.
Yeah, Jim, and if you have any question marks about anything with college football, the only question mark you don't have is Georgia's the #1 team in the country.
Absolutely.
Because this was a very exciting year as far as college football is concerned, with all the unknowns and very few knowns.
Absolutely.
Use today as a good example, right? You had no idea who's going to walk away. Use yesterday as an example. Georgia's been the most consistent team by far in college football. A lot of other question marks.
Shall we bring up last night just a little bit for this one?
Why would you want to do that to me like that? I thought we was better than this. No, it's the same here. You know, they disappointed us, and not necessarily disappointed us. We kind of knew this was coming. You know, the defensive side of the ball has always been struggling, and the last couple of weeks have been basketball numbers, 48-41 and 56-52, things of that nature. So it's going to hurt us later on. Like some teams are going to be more disciplined and not give us too much turnovers or anything like that to capitalize off of.
And you would describe last night as for SC?
Devastating.
Yeah,
that hurt.
Yeah.
Better believe it. All right, what do you say we move on, my friends, and talk about some other action now to the Big 12 championship between 3rd-ranked TCU and 10th-ranked Kansas State. It was the second meeting of the season between these two schools, with the Horned Frogs beating the Wildcats 38-28. That was back in October. The Horned Frogs look to really clinch the program's first trip to the college football playoff with a win today. We go to the fourth quarter. Kansas State is up 21-17. Deuce Vaughn gets the handoff and breaks free for the 44-yard touchdown. The Wildcats extend their lead now to 28-17. Now, TCU added a field goal in the fourth quarter to trail 28-20. Max Duggan keeps it here to score on the 8-yard touchdown. He finished with 110 yards rushing. The Horned Frogs remained on the field. Duggan finds Jarrett Wiley for the successful two-point conversion. Stafon, that's really amazing.
Yeah, they needed to get that at that point in time, and this quarterback right here is relentless.
Now, this one headed into overtime on 4th and goal. The Wildcats get a huge 4th down stop to force the turnover on downs. Kansas State gets the ball with a chance for the victory. And the Wildcats used 5 plays to get into field goal range, and Ty Zettner delivers with the game-winning 31-yard field goal. Kansas State ends TCU's undefeated season as they win its first Big 12 championship since 2012. Final score, 31-28.
Charged Up, sponsored by Action Ion Charged Alkaline Water.
To the American Athletic Championship between 18th-ranked Tulane and 22nd-ranked UCF. We head to the fourth quarter. Tulane is up 31-28. Matt Pratt right here drops back and connects with Shea White, who breaks free, outruns the defender, 60-yard touchdown. Now Tulane wins its first American Athletic Championship by a score of 45-28. All right, gentlemen, here we go. So TCU suffers their first loss of the season. The difference, that defensive stand on 4th and goal by Kansas State was really in overtime, was really amazing.
Yeah, it's really one of those decisions where you can be the hero or that can end your season, you know, like it did this weekend. And you know, this tough call is one of those aggressive calls that TCU has been doing all year. It kind of reminds me a couple of weeks back when they had to wait till the last minute to kick the field goal. So it kind of one of those things, they had confidence in what they wanted to do. And, you know, Kansas State came up big and hit them with a counterpunch.
And when you have confidence in yourself and your team, you just go ahead and try everything.
You go for it. But, you know, Jim, I have a tough with that. 4th down, go get a field goal. You're in overtime. Live another drive, I guess you can say. I think this takes TCU out of that top 4.
It's really kind of amazing. All right, my friends, what do you say we move on and let's talk about USC and Utah last night. We saw Caleb Williams really power through injury and still put up an incredible numbers last night. Stafon, is there still any question about him holding the Heisman?
I believe so. I think he showed what he can do previous of his injury. He was throwing the ball on different trajectories, man. He was hitting different people all over the field. He looked great with post-injury, and give credit to Utah. Utah did a great job of being able to flush to him and send people at him and try to get him flushing as much as they could.
But there were certain aspects of what the Trojans did offensively and defensively last night that were very subpar.
you can't give up 533 yards on the defensive side, Jim. You know, that's been the struggle for USC this entire year. Offense, not a problem. Can you get stops when you need it? After the first quarter, they couldn't get a stop against Utah. Absolutely.
I think that we eventually was going to meet this fate. You know, I think that we was going to find a way to where they're going to show that our defense was struggling in a certain bit. But I have all hopes. I think it was a good job at where we're going. It's a great road that we're going in this direction. And I think that he got something up his sleeves. You know, they're going to hit the transfer portal real hard.
Now, what do you see next year as far as changes are concerned for USC?
Transfer portal up front.
Yeah.
I think up front we got to get better. We got to get more depth up front and create more competition on the outskirts as far as the secondary is concerned. Receivers and quarterbacks is already on point. Just try to get them back, polish them up, get some more defenders out there on the back end, front seven. I think we'd be all right.
Helen?
Get stops. That's it. The offense is there. Just handle the defense.
All right, my friends, what do you say we change sports right now? Let's talk some soccer, and the U.S. Facing the Netherlands in the round of 16 at the World Cup. The Americans heavy underdogs against the Dutch, but would that be a lack of pressure, be an advantage? Well, here we go. We're going to find out. U.S. with
experience. They're not taking advantage of opportunities. Netherlands just too experienced. So, you know, it's a different.
So I think that it goes, it says a lot to me.
And of course, this sport, it just transcends everything because it's so emotional.
Especially, you know, and I know it's not the top sport for the United States of America, but everybody got excited for a quick little 2-week run. And now you got, obviously, countries where it means everything. We just saw the highlights of Argentina. We'll still see some of these great countries perform.
Before we go real quick, who wins it all in college football?
College football, I don't know how you go against Georgia. I just don't know.
Go Dogs.
I just don't know how.
Go Dogs.
Go
there
Dogs.
You go.
They're going to be barking, right?
Stay consistent. Even though this next week, SEC matchup, Big Ten matchup, it's going to be some good stuff next week, too. So I think it's going to go big.
And we'll have it for you right here on CBS 2. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this very quick edition of Sports Central Saturday. And so far, it's Stafon Johnson and Alan Sliwa. I'm Jim Hill saying thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time right here on CBS 2. So long, everybody.